And then you and the other gentleman.
Ben Affleck, yeah.
Yeah, you wrote the thing, and I'm thinking to myself, well, this guy is a kid. He's just a kid. How old are you?
27.
27 years old. So how are you that smart? How do you know to write a movie, for God's sake?
If you've ever felt unprepared, inexperienced, or like everyone else has more talent than you, listen to this. Two broke kids from Boston, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, wrote one of the greatest screenplays of the 90s before they even understood the rules of screenwriting. They weren't stars, they weren't insiders, they weren't trained writers, but somehow they created Good Will Hunting, a film that made $225 million, earned 9 Oscar nominations, won 2, and launched both of their successful careers. And the best part, they stumbled into the masterpiece almost on accident, fueled by hunger, blind confidence, and the refusal to quit. In 1992, Matt Damon was at Harvard, struggling through a playwriting class. For his final assignment, he turned in 40 pages about a janitor who secretly solves advanced math equations.
Handed him, we were tasked with writing a one-act play for this by the end of the semester. And I handed this in to the professor who I really liked, and I said, I think I failed your class because this is not a one-act play, but I believe it's the first act of a movie. He was really effusive in his praise for what I'd done.
Damon moved to LA to pursue acting and moved in with his childhood friend, Ben Affleck. Their apartment was tiny and cheap. They split pizzas, they lived off small acting checks, they had 0 savings. But they had ambition. Affleck once said,
and we thought and we talked about, we should really write this. And we were just young enough to be so incredibly stupid and naive that we thought well, why would we write? You know what I mean? That we actually should do it and that someone might make it.
Affleck's delusional belief pushed Damon into making the script real. The first draft was just a messy CIA thriller. It wasn't the emotional drama you know today. The first version was basically a spy movie. Will Hunting was a math genius recruited by the government. There were gunfights, car chases, CIA conspiracies.
And he gave me an A in his class, and he said, keep going with this. I showed it to Ben and I had enough, because of this professor's reaction, I had enough confidence to show it to my friend. And I said, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck with this. And Ben read it and goes, I don't know what to do either, but we should do it together.
They didn't understand structure, they didn't know dialogue, and they didn't know what they were doing. But they wrote every single day until the script reached hundreds of pages. Hollywood rejected them over and over. Studios rejected them everywhere. 20th Century Fox called it unfocused. Paramount said there was no audience. Producers wanted different actors. One producer told them, we'll buy it, but you two won't star in it. And they refused, even though they were broke. In 1994, Castle Rock Entertainment finally bought their script for around $600,000. But then they dropped the bomb. Damon and Affleck wouldn't be allowed to star in it. They'd get paid, but Hollywood would take over. And they fought back for months, and the deal collapsed. Their dream was once again dead. Enter Kevin Smith, the indie filmmaker who made Clerks.
So he FedExed me the script, and I got it. And I took it into the bathroom. I was like, you know what, I'll start reading this. I got to go to the bathroom. I didn't leave the bathroom for 2 hours. I stayed on the toilet, got piles reading this script, man. Just turning the pages. Was so deeply in love, crying. I come out of the bathroom, I got tears in my eyes. Scott Mosier's like, what happened in there? I'm like, I just read this script, that's amazing.
Smith sent it to Miramax. Harvey Weinstein read it in one sitting and said, we're making this movie with you two starring. This was the first time Hollywood said yes and meant it. Gus Van Sant transformed the story and pushed Damon and Affleck to drop the thriller plot. He told them, take out the CIA stuff, focus on the characters. He made them rewrite the emotional core, Will versus trauma, Will versus the potential, and Will versus the people who loved him. Van Sant was responsible for shaping the therapy scenes, the friendship arc, and Will's emotional growth. While sitting drafts around, Damon and Affleck added the now famous NSA monologue as a trap. They used it to catch executives not reading the script. If an exec said, I love the NSA scene, then Damon and Affleck knew they didn't read the rest.
Say I'm working at the NSA and somebody puts a code on my desk, something no one else can break. Maybe I take a shot at it and maybe I break it. And I'm real happy with myself because I did my job well. But maybe that code was the location of some rebel army in North Africa or the Middle East. And once they have that location, they bomb the village where the rebels are hiding. 1,500 people that I never met, never had no problem with, get killed.
Almost every studio complimented the scene, except Miramax. That's how the guys knew they finally picked the right studio. Once Robin Williams signed on, the movie stopped being a script and became a real project. He brought emotional weight to Sean Maguire and improvised legendary moments.
It's not your fault. Don't fuck with me, all right? Don't fuck with me, Sean. Not you. It's not your fault.
Matt Damon said, "Robin gave us the soul of the film." Robin Williams took the movie from promising to iconic. Good Will Hunting's budget was $10 million. They filmed it in real Boston locations: L Street Tavern, Harvard Square, and South Boston streets. Sean's therapy office was shot in a small room in Toronto. Will's MIT janitor scenes were shot for almost nothing. Extras were local Boston residences, and it felt authentic because it was. Good Will Hunting eventually premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in September 1997 and received a standing ovation. And the numbers were just insane. The budget being $10 million and the box office was $225 million worldwide. 9 Oscar nominations, 2 wins for the best screenplay. Affleck was just 25. Damon was just 27. They became the youngest screenwriting duo in Oscar history. Their lives changed overnight. Winning an Oscar sounds like a dream, but it hit them hard. Damon even admitted, "You win young and suddenly people think you're a genius." Affleck said the pressure almost crushed him. He struggled to transition into bigger roles, and he even battled alcoholism for years. Even Damon felt the weight of expectation. Success was a blessing, as well as a burden.
I just said to Matt, losing would suck and winning would be really scary, and it's really, really scary.
The real twist is this: Hollywood didn't discover them. They forced Hollywood to notice. 2 kids with nothing but ambition wrote a script that transformed their lives, not because they were geniuses, but because they worked even when nobody was paying attention. They didn't wait for a miracle to happen, they just wrote their shit and got it done. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck didn't accidentally make a masterpiece, they accidentally proved that masterpieces come from people who are brave enough to start messy, stay hungry, and ignore everybody when they say you're not ready. They were broke, they were inexperienced, and they were doubted, but they believed anyways. And that belief mixed with some hustle created Good Will Hunting, one of the most iconic films of the 90s. If they could do it with a beat-up desk and a 40-page homework project, imagine what you could do if you started today. Thank you for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next video, and comment down below who you want me to cover next. Until next time, guys. Peace.